Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association.
If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show runs Monday at noon and is uploaded to our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page to watch on demand. Today is October 1st, 2018, and now the news at noon.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a Texas man pleaded guilty Thursday to aggravated robbery, a felony, in connection with a shooting death that occurred last year in the Lightner Creek Mobile Home Park west of Durango. Kevin Goff faces 24 to 32 years in prison after signing a plea agreement with the 6th Judicial District Attorney's Office. Sentencing is scheduled for November 13th in La Plata County. Goff is one of 3 people, including Michael Jones, who was sentenced to life in prison after being convicted of first-degree murder in August, and Elise Rios, who allegedly drove the getaway car charged in connection with the May 14, 2017 death of David Gayton of Durango. All 3 are accused of participating in a marijuana robbery. Prosecutors said Goff and Jones were inside the home during the robbery, while Rios waited outside in a black sedan with the engine running. Jones pointed a gun at Gayton and 2 other people inside the home while demanding the victims empty their pockets and hand over their wallets, according to an arrest affidavit. At some point, Gayton apparently lunged at Jones and Jones pulled the trigger. Goff grabbed the marijuana and all 3 left in the sedan, according to the affidavit. Witnesses obtained a partial license plate number, and police dispatchers aired a vehicle description and partial license plate number to regional law enforcement. The vehicle was found later that evening on U.S. Highway 50 near Salida. A Colorado State Patrol trooper stopped the vehicle and arrested all 3 suspects without incident.
From the Durango Herald, photo of a Gunnison sage grouse in Gunnison, like the namesake, taken in 2014 by CPW-AP. A rare bird found only in Colorado and Utah will stay on the endangered species list, at least for now, a U.S. district judge said on Friday. The judge upheld a 2014 decision by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to protect the Gunnison sage grouse as a threatened species and to designate more than 2,200 square miles of land as critical habitat. State and county governments in Colorado and Utah, as well as a Colorado ranching group, had challenged the decision, arguing the best scientific data did not support threatened status. They also questioned whether all of the land classified as critical habitat was suitable for the birds. Quote, "We're disappointed that the court didn't recognize efforts of Gunnison County, Colorado, landowners, and the state to help the species, and it's a significant effort," said John Swartout, a policy advisor to Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper. Swartout and others said no decision had been made about whether to appeal. Fish and Wildlife Service spokeswoman Jennifer Strickland said the agency was pleased by the ruling and plans to keep working with local and state governments and other groups. Environmental groups that intervened in the case said they were happy. The Fish and Wildlife Service said only about 4,700 Gunnison sage grouse remained in 2014 when it was listed as threatened, and put the number at 5,000 in 2017. Some environmental groups say that number is much smaller now. The Gunnison grouse is related to the larger and more numerous greater sage grouse. Greater sage grouse can be up to 2 feet tall and weigh 5 pounds. The Gunnison birds are about 1/3 smaller, and on a side note, are named Gunnison for being native to that area, not the Dove Creek area. Both grouse are ground-dwelling birds known for the male's elaborate mating rituals. Under the Endangered Species Act, a threatened species is considered likely to be pushed to the brink of extinction soon. It is less serious than endangered, which means a species is on the verge of extinction now and requires stronger protection. The U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments Monday in an Endangered Species Act case in Louisiana with similarities to the Gunnison grouse case, said David Halverson, a lawyer for the state's Public Lands Policy Coordinating Office. The Fish and Wildlife Service designated timberland in Louisiana as critical habitat for an endangered frog, but opponents say the frog has not lived in that state since 1965. Utah argues that some of the land designated as critical habitat for the Gunnison sage grouse is not suitable for the bird, Halverson said. Quote, "It's hard to say it's essential for the conservation of the species if the species can't live there," he said. Halverson said Utah wants to save the bird, but believes it can be done better outside of the framework of the Endangered Species Act. The law has been under increasing attack by Republicans who say it is too restrictive, hurts economic growth, and leads to years-long court battles, not to mention affecting our own cattle operations here in the Four Corners, among other impacts. Calls for change grew louder this week after a federal judge in Montana restored protections for grizzly bears in and around Yellowstone National Park. That delayed grizzly hunts that had been planned in Wyoming and Idaho. The GOP-dominated House Natural Resource Committee began considering changes Wednesday that supporters said would make the law work better and eliminate obstacles to economic progress.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a Durango City employee died earlier this month of injuries suffered while on the job, officials said Friday. The employee, Moises Dominiquez, worked for the city's solid waste, trash, and recycling division for just under 4 years before being injured on the job, said Assistant City Manager Amber Blake. The accident occurred the morning of September 10th on Narrow Gauge Avenue, which runs between the railroad tracks and Main Avenue in downtown Durango. Emergency crews took Dominiquez to Mercy Regional Medical Center, where he was flown to San Juan Regional Medical Center in Farmington, Blake said. Dominiquez died at San Juan Regional Medical Center. Blake declined to release information about the circumstances that led to his injury and eventually death, citing an internal evaluation. Public records of the death were not immediately available from the New Mexico office of the medical investigator.
From the Durango Herald, courtesy photo. U.S. Representative Scott Tipton introduced new legislation earlier this month that would ensure disaster assistance in the form of aid and grants to communities and businesses affected by wildfires. Tipton introduced the Federal Lands Fire-Related Incidents Recovery and Economic Stimulus, or Federal Lands Fires, Act on September 13th to the House Committee on Financial Services, Natural Resources, and Small Business after the 416 fire, which burned almost 55,000 acres. The bill will create a new disaster designation for wildfires that burn on federal lands, thus making communities affected by the fires eligible for federal support to aid with damages. Tipton said he introduced the bill after speaking with constituents in La Plata County about the effects of the 416 fire that started June 1st, including business owners on Main Avenue. He said landowners near the burn area were not going to have, quote, a lot of opportunities for aid or assistance because they are private landowners while the fire was mostly on public lands. These natural disasters we have to be able to deal with, Tipton said. We have to make sure that those resources are going to be available because in our community, every small business counts. They play a very small, critical role in our economy with jobs. Tipton said that because the fire burned mostly on federal lands and the limitations of the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act, which is the current legislation that authorizes states and local governments to aid citizens after natural disasters, most people affected by the fire are not eligible for that aid. Jack Llewellyn, the executive director of the Durango Chamber of Commerce, said he thinks Tipton's legislation will make getting federal assistance easier for businesses. This would definitely help businesses because before you couldn't get access to some of the funds and grants if it was on federal land, and that would help open that up and change that for a lot of communities that have been impacted, Llewellyn said. It will help the businesses gain access to the capital to get through the lean times. Tipton said he aims to pass the bill with the current sitting Congress before the upcoming midterm elections in November. He's up for re-election as the state's District 3rd congressional representative. He was first elected in 2010.
According to the Cortez Journal, with a photo by Michael Sirochman, a bear cub whose paws were burned during the 416 fire is doing really well, a Colorado Parks and Wildlife official said Thursday. The bear, who remains nameless, has grown from a mere 10.5 pounds to a healthy 60 pounds in the past 3 months, said Heath Kem, Southwest Deputy Regional Manager for CPW. Firefighters first found the bear while battling the 416 fire in the Junction Creek area on the southwestern end of the fire that burned 54,129 acres. After noticing the cub alone for a few days, firefighters called CPW officials. CPW tranquilized and captured the bear June 22nd after finding her alone in a tree, her paws burned by the fire. After weeks of rehabilitation at a center in Del Norte, which included salvaging and bandaging her paws, the young sow was put in a pen with other bear cubs that are also being rehabilitated. Durango's CPW office rehabilitates about 16 bears each year, Kem said. CPW expects to care for the cub until at least January, when officials plan to release the bear into the wild, Kem said. And now let's take a look at the weather.
Nationally, the map is showing heavy rain for the desert Southwest and the Great Lakes region. Chances of rain across much of the rest of the country are high, with that low pressure system dipping in from Canada, bringing with it cooler temperatures across most of the central U.S. Our regional forecast is mostly all about Rosa. The remnants of Hurricane Rosa will move into the Four Corners region Tuesday, causing widespread rainfall to spread over much of the eastern Utah and western Colorado areas through Thursday. Before that happens, a few showers and thunderstorms are possible today as a weak disturbance moves through the area. Precipitation amounts are expected to be minimal. As the week progresses, though, more of the precipitation is expected at the higher elevations, especially the San Juans, with lower amounts for the valleys. While locally higher amounts will be possible, you never know. If you have a rain gauge, let's see what you get and where this week. Right now here at the DCTV station for October, we are starting at 0, so it should be easy to report that this week here at the station. Locally, our DCTV 5-day outlook shows today scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a high near just 66. South winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, and the chance of precipitation is 40%. Tonight, showers likely mainly after midnight, mostly cloudy with a low around 51. Chance of precipitation rises to 60%. And Tuesdays, it's showers, with thunderstorms also possible after 9 a.m., a high near 65. South winds pick up to 10 to 15 miles an hour, and the chance of precipitation is 80%. Tuesday night, showers and possibly a thunderstorm, low around 52. Chance of precipitation remains at 80%. Into Wednesday, the chance of rain drops to 30%, with a chance of showers and thunderstorms also possible afternoon. Partly sunny with a high near 69. Wednesday night, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 49. Again, Thursday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, yet mostly sunny with a high near 64. Our chance of percentage drops to 30% at that time. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 44. Friday, a slight chance of showers, and then a chance of showers and thunderstorms afternoon. Mostly sunny with a high near 64. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 43. Saturday night, now they're saying partly sunny with a high near 64, and Saturday night, a chance of showers comes back into the forecast, mostly cloudy with a low around 41. And our Facebook viewers' photo over the weekend is from Stacy Bosch, who posted a photo pic of the colors changing up in the glade. Some wonderful fall foliage all over the county. If you have a photo you would like to share, email it to us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or post it on our Dove Creek Local Weather Photos group on Facebook. Do let us know how much rain you're getting and where all throughout this week. And now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, a mobile home just west of Gem Village was destroyed Wednesday afternoon by a fire of undetermined origin. Upper Pine Fire Protection District Chief Bruce Evans said no one was in the mobile home when the fire broke out shortly after 5 p.m. No one was injured. The blaze occurred on a trash-laden plot near the entry to Hullman Canyon Road off County Road 223 between Elmore's Corner and Gem Village north of U.S. Highway 160. Initially, one person was reported as unaccounted for, but Evans said the person was later located nearby. Evans said a woman who initially reported the blaze found the north end of the mobile home on fire, and when she finished her 911 call, the entire trailer was fully engulfed. A property owner could not be located, and Evans said he believed the parcel is owned by an out-of-state owner. The La Plata County Sheriff's Office declined to release further information, saying the incident is under investigation.
From the Journal, photo Jim Imiaga. Dolores, the town residents, and the town board on Monday considered allowing a retail marijuana shop in town during a workshop last Monday attended by 40 people. The town's moratorium on retail marijuana sales expires December 31st. Town officials gathered information from other towns that allow retail marijuana sales, including Mancos and Cortez. But some information presented was later clarified by Mancos town manager Heather Alvarez. Mancos collects local and state sales tax from the 3 retail marijuana shops in town and charges an additional $3 per transaction for a transaction fee, also called an occupation tax, per purchase. The transaction fee requires a public vote and was approved by Mancos voters in 2014. It authorizes the town to charge up to $10 per purchase. But Alvarez disagreed with a report presented at the Dolores meeting that claims Mancos, quote, breaks even on retail marijuana sales. The report includes costs of 2 additional Mancos deputies. Alvarez said tax revenues from marijuana sales benefit Mancos, and the money is earmarked for capital improvements. Quote, "We have used that money to help pay for projects like paved roads and internet technology," she said. The additional deputies were needed because of increasing population and not specifically because of marijuana crimes, end quote. Dolores trustee James Biard said the cost of the deputies was included in the report because they were hired since Mancos allowed retail marijuana and not necessarily because of crimes related to marijuana. Alvarez said marijuana stores do require additional work from town staff to keep up with the codes, inspections, and regulations. She said that if the Mancos Town Board approves an additional deputy for 2019, part of his or her duties would be liquor and marijuana code enforcement and oversight. In 2017, the town of Mancos generated $195,000 in sales taxes and transaction fees from the 2 marijuana stores, up from $107,000 in 2016, Alvarez said. At the Dolores meeting, a resident asked whether towns without marijuana stores benefited from a 15% state tax applied to all marijuana store sales in Colorado. Shannon Gray, a marijuana communications specialist with the Colorado Department of Revenue, said they do. Towns or counties with retail marijuana shops receive 10% out of the 15% state sales tax on each purchase. The other 5% of state sales tax on marijuana are distributed to each year to the Colorado schools, Gray said. That money is distributed in lump sum amounts to each school district and is also offered through BEST grants that must be applied for. For example, Dolores School District RE4A received a lump sum of $254,000 in 2017 and $257,000 in 2018 from marijuana sales taxes, according to school documents. Also, a $120,000 grant from state marijuana taxes was awarded to Dolores for social workers and counselors, said secondary school principal Jen Huffman. In Cortez, sales taxes from marijuana sales generated $700,000 in 2017, said City Clerk Linda Smith. It was brought up at the Dolores meeting that if neighboring states legalize recreational retail marijuana, it could impact the market in southwest Colorado. During a public comment period, many Dolores residents spoke against allowing retail marijuana stores, and a few were more supportive. Concerns included intoxicated users in public, use in homes where children live, the potential that it could be a gateway to harder drugs, negative mental effects of the drug, and fears of increased crimes and black market sales. Others were more supportive of allowing marijuana sales, saying the increase in sales taxes could benefit the town, that it is less problematic than alcohol for some, and that medical properties of marijuana have value. Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nowlin said that since legalization of marijuana, his department has seen an increase in black market activity and other marijuana-related crimes and problems, including driving under the influence and theft.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, a Colorado man who was charged after allegedly berating a hunter for legally killing a bear next door to his property may face a third charge related to the incident. The Aspen Times reports 68-year-old Thomas Anderson was charged with felony arson and misdemeanor disorderly conduct after the bear killing near a private ranch near Snowmass Village earlier this month. A report by a Colorado Parks and Wildlife officer filed Wednesday says Anderson should also face charge of harassment of a hunter. The report by Wildlife Officer Curtis Teach says the charge is justified because Anderson yelled at the hunter's children, and the ranch caretaker's wife. The report states Anderson's actions delayed the hunter from properly caring for the bear meat. Anderson says he wasn't interviewed by Tesh and wants to explain what happened in court.
A 25-year-old woman died in Iris Park in the late morning Sunday, and an investigation into the cause of death is underway, said Sergeant Nick Stasi of the Durango Police Department, as reported in the Durango Herald. Stasi said a call came in about 10:25 a.m. about a woman who had collapsed, and officers arrived to find the woman unconscious and unresponsive. They began conducting CPR. An ambulance crew arrived and continued CPR efforts, but crew members were unsuccessful in attempts to revive the woman. Stasi said the woman was with her boyfriend and several friends when she collapsed. An autopsy has been scheduled for this Wednesday, and the death is currently considered suspicious, Stasi said. Stasi said the woman's family has been notified about the death, but he said because an investigation is underway, the Durango Police Department will not release the identity of the woman until after the autopsy.
From the Cortez Journal, the Ute Mountain Ute Tribe has been awarded a $1.6 million Department of Justice grant to improve public safety. Of that amount, $898,918 is for public safety and community policing, and $748,013 was awarded to the tribe for justice systems and alcohol and substance abuse. The announcement was made at the annual Four Corners Indian Country Conference, which is being held this year in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Ute Mountain Public Safety Director John Trochek said the funding is a big boost for tribe services. Currently, the Towaoc Police Department has 4 openings for officers. Nationwide, grants were awarded to 133 American Indian tribes and Alaska Native villages. Of the $113 million, just over $53 million comes from the Office of Justice Programs, more than $35 million from the Office on Violence Against Women, and more than $24.7 million from the Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services. In addition, the police department is in the process of allocating up to $133 million in a new set-aside program to serve victims of crime in American Indian and Alaskan Native communities. The awards are intended to help tribes develop, expand, and improve services to victims of crime by providing funding, programming, and technical assistance. Recipients have not been announced.
And today's High Canyon Country happenings. October 3rd through the 8th in Bluff, Utah, it's their annual Utah Rock Art Research Symposium. This annual event includes workshops, presentations, watermelon social, and banquet. Learn about all things rock art, petroglyphs, and pictographs. For more details, go online to their website, utahrockart.org. October 4th from 7:30 to 10 p.m. at the Sunflower Theater in Cortez, A.J. Fullerton and Kirk James will be playing. Raised as an only child in the mountains of rural western Colorado, A.J. was brought up surrounded by numerous styles of music ranging from rock, folk, bluegrass, roots, and blues. His style and playing falls somewhere between the finger-picking and slide of country roots music and the groove-based up-tempo sensibilities of blues and rock and roll, while Kirk James is solidly grounded in the Texas blues tradition, playing ragtime, Texas shuffles, and funky grooves. His unmistakable phrasing mixed with bottleneck slide conjures images of T-Bone Walker, Elmore James, and Lightnin' Hopkins. A blues performer for over 30 years, Kirk is known for his strong blues guitar style and distinctive vocals. And then October 6th, Southwest Colorado Big Game Banquet will be held from 5 to 10 p.m. at the American Legion in Cortez. This event is all about elk, hunting, and with games and auctions, plus your chance to win fabulous prizes. A social evening of fun and great food for all and to benefit the elk country. Make your reservations by calling 970-882-2552 or go online to their webpage at events.rmef.org. Tickets are limited, so you don't want to wait. Reserve yours today. All of the happenings are posted on the DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your information with us, you can email dcbnnews@gmail.com or call us at the station 970-677-4119.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is available online on our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page on demand.
Be sure to like us there on Facebook and join in on the news of our area, and of course, please share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook with DCTV and the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.